The second thing is we're gonna all do something called the Superman, because Superman helps us feel the lower lumbar, okay? The lower lumbar is gonna keep us safe, but let me show you what I'm talking about. So, first, we just lay on the ground, like so, or like so, whatever, and legs and hands up. Just do this a couple times, and you're gonna start to feel this muscle right here. It's called your lower lumbar. And the lower lumbar is so crucial. So, y'all can flex your bicep, I'm sure. We want to be able to flex our lower lumbar just as easily. So let's try the Superman real quick. All right, if you don't mind. If anybody doesn't want to go to the floor, there's rubber mats there. And feel it in. You can go up and down. You should feel it right above your. You should feel it right above your like belt. All right, and then you're gonna jump up and do the same thing. All right? This is gonna teach you how to flex your lumbar. Well, no, you can just stand like that. But do the same flexation. Can you feel that? So like, I'm flexing right now. It looks a little weird, but this is flexing my lower lumbar. It's not pulling your shoulders back. It's just, you'll feel it right here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Yeah. And if you're not sure if you're feeling it or not, you just keep repeating this until you do. A little, yeah, a little.
So it's a little bit of glute tight.
A little. You don't want to.
We're not like you'll kind of feel your lift up a little
Yes.
bit. Yeah.
And I had to do tons of Supermans to get this. Like you're not going to get it in one session. You got to do this a bunch. But what'll happen is you'll be able to flex your lower lumbar on command. And here's why that's important. Your curve, your spine has a natural S curve to it when you're standing straight and tall. If you've seen the classical human skeleton, you see a little S. The lower lumbar helps us keep our back in that S position. So when we go to lift, if we're flexing the lower lumbar, it's gonna keep your back in a stable position. You know, these are all acceptable ways to lift. You don't wanna do this. Now your spine is a C shape, and you are going to tear it apart. Versus lower lumbar flexation here, or maybe you're putting a log on your shoulder. This is bad. C, my spine was a C shape. This works. It's just keeping that spine neutral is the term that is used. Neutral.
I've seen a lot of injuries where they might lift properly, but then they'll twist.
We'll get to that in a second. Yes. So, the reason the lower lumbar flexation is so crucial is it will keep your spine in that neutral S shape. You do that, if you remember nothing else from this class, just remember that. And get down on the floor when you have time, do the Superman, jump up, do it again, get it until you can flex your lower lumbar on command, and then every time you're out in the field, flex your lower lumbar when you lift heavy things. Guys, if it's like a brush pile, whatever, it isn't, I mean like a little bit of brush, not a big deal, but like the heavy stuff, the 20-gallon, the 15-gallon plants, you want to be doing this. I was also asked, like, what is your foot position? Well, cool trick, just jump. That's your lift, that's your natural, strongest, your jump is your lift. Now you might need to spread it out, that's fine, but like if you're not sure where to put your feet, just jump, you'll land in the right spot. That's it. There you go. Yeah. Second piece of this. Everybody find a wall, like a stirrup or one of these frames, and I want you to push as hard as you can and pay attention to your breath. So find something really sturdy to push on as hard as you can. Like give it a good push. And you'll notice your body naturally holds its breath. And that keeps you safe from bursting blood vessels and things like that. It's called the Valsalva maneuver.
They use that in scuba diving too.
Yeah.
Pop your ears.
Yep. The Valsalva maneuver is a second layer of protection. If we take a deep breath and we're flexing our lower lumbar, now we're doing even more to keep ourselves safe while lifting. The third piece of lifting, not as important as the first one, which is the lower lumbar, but the third piece of lifting is just, one of you mentioned, Chris, is this idea of not doing, three-dimensional movement. It's two-dimensional movements. we turn, we do these kind of movements. We don't do this and this, like with the heavy stuff. Again, heavy stuff. You know, if you're lifting light things, this is not applicable. But just think about that as you're like, you know, don't take the 25-gallon plant and then turn it onto the platform. Take a step back and walk it on the platform. Last thing that I just thought of, that's whatever. Don't worry, don't try to lower things. If it's heavy, just drop it. Our bodies are not made to do what's called eccentric movement. The up, concentric movement, is where our muscles are strongest. There's not like a transitive property of strength where if I can lift it up, I can lift it down. It doesn't work like that. It's really not the case at all. So when you have those 20-gallon plants, you've done a good lift, you've walked it, just drop it. It's not gonna hurt the plant. I don't think we have any equipment that's so sensitive that it would hurt it. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, then get somebody to help you lift it. Or cut the logs smaller. We came up with this phrase earlier, not original. Just don't play the game, change the game. If the log's too awkward or too heavy or the plant's like whatever, then cut it smaller, get somebody to help you do whatever. Just change the parameters of the situation. So to recap, number one is we need to feel our lower lumbars while we're lifting so that we can keep our spine in a neutral S position. Number two is taking a deep breath can help us lift heavy things. Number three is that we want to move in 2 dimensions. And then number four is getting help, rethinking how things work, dropping heavy weights, and not trying to lower it down or be a Superman by yourself. Other questions?
I actually have a habit of wanting to turn myself to get momentum to throw things. And that I think is going to be really difficult for me to break away from. Not only is it really convenient to be able to just hurl it to the direction it needs to go.
Heavy or small or light?
Anything and
Okay.
everything.
I think light is fine. I would caution you with heavy stuff, just reprogramming how you think about it.
Okay, so, but the bottom line is going to be the twisting motion. There's no way for me to build up to being able to really twist and throw heavy things.
No.
I need to just avoid it
Yeah,
altogether.
Now you could do a weightlifting program, and it would definitely give you some new level of strength. And you might be able to twist now heavier things than you could, but at some point that twisting motion is really going to hurt you.
You don't technically have to do a twisting motion as long as you keep your hips straight and your shoulders.
Yes.
And then you throw.
Okay,
Wow.
I actually might be good at that.
Okay. If you take away one thing, I would be careful there too. It's a neutral S shape in your spine, and this will help. Big breath will help. And you know, I've had to reprogram my body a lot over the years for various things, and it just takes work, but it can be done. Yeah, it's a good question. Any other questions? Cool.